What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 2 of the Kinetic Performance Podcast. My name is Calvin Trieu. I am the host and owner of this podcast, and this is an extension of my online and in-person fitness coaching business, Kinetic Performance and Nutrition, KPN for short. So this is episode 2, and today's topic that I want to cover is choosing your heart. So you may be thinking to yourself, what does this mean? Like, what is this guy meaning by this? So the first time I heard this phrase was from another podcast from Nick Bear. And the last 2 months, this phrase has been lingering in my mind. And then since then, I have heard this same phrase through several other people that I follow on other podcasts, social media platforms, and just other people within the industry that I look up to, right? And so what does this really mean to me, and what can you get out of this? So the way that I'm going to share this is I'm going to give you a few stories here, and then really give you the lesson that I am learning, and then that's kind of how we're going to flow through this. So the first story that I want to share is, okay, so a few years ago, I went to therapy for the first time. So as a guy, it's not very common for males, dudes, to just like talk about our feelings and stuff like that. So growing up, I bottle everything in. I know everyone at the beginning, we're all dealt with different cards. We've all gone through shit in our own lives, and everyone's different. Everyone's got baggage. Everyone's got shit that they got to deal with. I get that. And so with mine is I bottle things up, right? I just keep it until it just leaks out, and then it's explosive like a pop can. When you shake it all the way up and you crack it, and all of a sudden, everywhere, all that pressure that builds up inside, and it just can hold it only for so long until it just bursts through. And that's how my aggressions and my emotions have always leaked out growing up, because I haven't had always the best, I didn't always know the best way to process my powerful emotions, how to handle that correctly. I just wasn't really taught that. Like, I just didn't really know how. And just growing up with my background, I didn't have the best people in front of me, role models, that just like handled those type of things well. So I just learned from others, would just bottle it up and deal with it later, bury it. Not very healthy, obviously. And a lot of times this got me in trouble, and a few broken bones and torn ligaments. So that's that. But basically it got to, I would say, 2018, 2019, 2019, basically my first year of grad school for my master's. I was blowing up a lot more. Those emotions were leaking out a lot more, and I realized I needed to go to therapy, right? I contacted my mom. I was at the lowest point of my entire life for a plethora of reasons. I basically almost got kicked out of my undergrad during the last semester. I just got a second chance for grad school. I barely got into grad school, right, during a master's program. It wasn't the one that I wanted to get into. I was trying for physical therapy school. Couldn't get in, didn't have the good grades. Master's, barely got in. I was on a probation. I was like, basically said, hey, you better not get anything. They were saying, you better not get anything below a B this first semester, or we're kicking you out. Like, you got one chance based off of some things that happened. That is a whole nother discussion. And in my personal life, me and my longtime girlfriend, we just broke up, and I was like losing friends left and right. People, like, just a lot of bad stuff was happening. I was having some health issues, and just, everything just went south, and I was not okay. So I told my mom, finally, was like, yo, Mom, I think I need to go see somebody. And then I don't really share much with my mom, and it's kind of hard for her to understand some of the things I'm going, and it's hard for me to articulate some of my thoughts sometimes back then, and my feelings and stuff like that. But then she was like, hey, I know. I can tell that you are not okay, and you need to go see help. And I remember laying legitimately on my bathroom floor at 9 o'clock at night, and with one hallway light on, and I was just in the darkness and just scrolling my phone, just trying to survive. That was like a nightly occurrence thing when I was living by myself for the first time. And it was, yeah. But she was like, yeah, I can tell. And right there, I was like, I thought I'm pretty good at hiding this stuff, but if she can tell and she's at a distance, I'm not okay. So fast forward a little bit. That was like the springtime, fall semester starts. I'm starting grad school, and that I had a big blowout. I was drunk one night, and I just remember exploding with emotions, that things where I weren't dealing with. Like, I was basically unhinged, and I just like did not know what was happening, and I just exploded emotions. Nothing made sense, and broke some stuff in my house, and in front of people this time, and friends saw, and I just remember the look and just being so embarrassed by everything. And I'm like, yeah, I need to go get help. Like, I need to speed up the process of finding a therapist. Went through loops, finally found one that I found that was right. I felt right to me at the moment. And yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow, just because there was so much, whatever the thing is like pride and proudness. Don't want to be vulnerable. Don't want to open up. Don't want to seem weak. I want to, just any of those type of things. And I finally was like, hey, I'm not okay. These are the things that's bothering me. And she barely said a few words, and I just cracked like an egg, and everything just bled out of everything, from childhood stuff up to present things that I just never talked about. So it's bothering me. And wow, that was hard to do. Like, I had like 22, 23 years of resistance to not do that, to not talk about those things. And that was hard. Like, choosing that road was really hard to do, but I came out on the other end better, because as humans and in training, and a lot of life lessons I have learned honestly came from training. And because as humans, we like to take the path of least resistance, both physiologically in our body to life and how we do things. We don't like to do things that's hard, because it's hard, and everything else that's attached and associated with that, it's heavy. And so we're like, hey, let me just do something that's a little more comfortable, easier, so then I don't got to put in as much effort, and then you can just keep going. But nothing worth it ever comes out of something easy. And that's a hard thing to understand, the climb and then what's on the other side. But pulling this back, choosing to tell my mom that I needed to go to therapy, coming to terms with it with myself, and then talking to that person and just telling her what was wrong with me and things that I needed to take ownership of that I just wasn't, instead of blaming everyone else, and just opening up. Just being real. And that was hard. That was a hard thing to do. That was a hard pill to swallow. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. It was it was something that needed to happen for me to, because the trajectory I was on was steering off course, and I was getting further and further away from the path that felt true to me, and pivoting with that decision of choosing the heart of, hey, I'm like hitting rock bottom emotionally, mentally, and I have two roads right now. I have two options. I can either keep going down this road, and I don't know how ugly things are going to get, or I can choose this hard that's new and just try to claw myself back to being on course. And I chose that hard, and it's paid off. It mattered so much that happened, and I made that decision, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And then, so the second story that I want to share is this podcast, this business. Everything I'm doing right now is so very against the grain, right? So like growing up, you are told, hey, go to school, get good grades. If you get good grades, you can get a decent paying job, and then you're straight. Cool. However, everything that I feel like a internal pull, a nudge, a voice in my mind always tells me I don't like the cookie cutter path. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just doesn't feel right with me. Like, I like to do different things, going against the grain, doing more things with resistance. But on the other side of the coin with that is I have a lot of fear. Like, I am so scared. Like, if you can't tell right now, I am terrified throughout this whole conversation and just opening up and talking like this. Like my heart rate, hold on. Let me tell you, I'm at like 129 beats per minute right now. Like, I'm stressed, but this feels right while I'm doing this. And this is hard to do, but it feels right. So, like, doing this business outside of my day job, trying to build my client roster, trying to deliver, trying to give people enough support in training, nutrition, mindset, these different areas that I have learned that I know that can help these people move 2 steps forward. Making this podcast, learning how to record, learning audio, learning video production, learning how to spread this out, making content, writing, learning more. This is so hard. But I feel very grateful for being able to be in a position to do this. And this is so cool that I'm doing this. And just that, like, 14-year-old me, 13-year-old me that just thought the world was over, that basically attempted, like, I was in some dark places growing up, and just seeing where I'm at now compared to then is just like, he wouldn't believe where I'm at now. And I don't even believe this. Like, this is wild. Like, am I in a simulation? Like, is any of this real? Am I still dreaming? But like, just the fact I'm doing the thing, I'm choosing these hard things instead of falling to my default of like, hey, let me pull up my phone, let me just scroll and live through other people and watching them do it, or watch these movies, these TV shows I love, and I can fall and seclude into my dark corner of my room and just watch life go by and watch other people do it, when I have this internal like nudge that's like, hey, you can do something. It's not about you being the best. It's like, you are taking those steps towards what's right for you, following that North Star of like, hey, these are things that intrigue you for a reason. Lean into it and see what comes on the other side. So I wanted to share those stories because every single day we are faced with many different hard decisions, and not everything has to be so granular, right? So like, me acknowledging and accepting that I needed to go to therapy, that's a big decision. Me opening up my own business, doing all these things, these new skills I'm trying to learn. These are big decisions. These are big, hard. But don't forget about the smaller hard decisions that you do every single day. Like, say you are that busy parent, you're a single parent, you have little kiddos, and you just got off an 8 to 12-hour shift, and you just picked the kids up. There's traffic, you're hungry, you haven't ate, you've only ate once today, and your first instinct is, hey, I need to eat something, I need to stop at McDonald's or something, and then buy that and go home, and that's my dinner. Doing the hard decision could just be, hey, you know what? I am not going to do that. I'm going to go home. I'm going to have like maybe a protein shake, like eat something small that's quick, that I can kind of just help curve my cravings a little bit, hunger, while I fix dinner. That way you're saving money. Something like that, that action, that is a hard thing. Like, do not let anyone minimize your decisions when it comes to what's big or what's small when it comes to hard decisions. It's resistance. We're trying to fight resistance every day. Just like when you're training, you're getting your reps, your sets, you're squatting, benching, pushing, pulling, everything. You're just pushing or pulling against resistance. And every rep matters. Everything, every rep and set over time, all that volume changes you so much. You may not see those changes in those specific reps, but over time, it's like, wow, your muscles are bigger, you're stronger, you're healthier, you're fitter. Or when it comes to your daily actions of like, wow, I'm choosing not to get that fast food restaurant or go to that fast food joint after work. You're saving money over time. You're getting healthier because you're cooking meals at home. You're teaching your kids in the back seat these good habits, these behaviors. Or your other small action could be, hey, talking to that friend, right? Being like, hey, I don't like where things are. I don't think I said the thing I want to say correctly. This is where I'm not coming at. I wasn't trying to hurt you, attack you, just having that honest conversation. Or it could be, hey, I'm not going to scroll on my phone for this extra hour when I'm on the toilet or something like that. Like, you guys know, like you're like done doing your business and then you're just like on your phone, you're scrolling for an extra like 30 minutes. Come on. We've all been there. TikTok, everything. So like, that's like another hard decision right there. Be like, hey, I'm going to close the phone and I'm going to go back to doing something else because I don't want to lose that 30 minutes of my time. Or choosing to go to bed just a little bit earlier, right? Having like a set time or like a time range that you're going to go to sleep. You're turning off the TV and you're just going to get in bed, get an extra 30 minutes, hour of sleep or something. Or wake up a little earlier before the kids, before work, before all the chaos of life, and you want a little bit of peace, 5-10 minutes of peace for yourself in the morning, and you're like, hey, I'm going to go outside, go for a walk with my dog, and just have the sun on my face. I'm going to listen to a podcast. This podcast. You can just journal. Just have some time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes. Those are hard decisions that it's hard to make. It may seem really small to some people because it could be their normal, but if you do the hard things enough over time, it becomes normal. And it's not so hard anymore. It becomes this thing where you don't have to think about it so much because at the beginning, you're using so much mental energy. It's so cognitively expensive for you. Like you're using so much like mental power. But then over time, it's mindless. It's second nature. It just happens. So basically, choosing your heart could be a lot of different ways. It could be as big, as granular as it needs to be, or it could be as small as your daily actions. And maybe those matter more, just depending on what it is. So I hope you found this beneficial. And I hope that this serves you well. If you know someone that can use these words of encouragement on choosing the path with more resistance, choosing that hard, and knowing that, like, hey, on the other side, you will come out better than you were before. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you are watching this on your phone, your iPad, TV, laptop, or listening in your car through your headphones, thank you so much for streaming in. And please leave a like, comment, review, share this if you liked it, just to get more awareness out there for the right person to hear these words. And it will really help me and the channel grow. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time and energy, attention to listen to this. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. And that's a wrap for episode 2. Woo!